Okay, we are live again. Isn't that wonderful? Um, yeah, it is, as I'm speaking, 8 minutes past 6 in the morning here in Norway. And yeah, I haven't been doing a live stream for almost 2 weeks, so I thought it was time again to talk a little bit. I hope you can hear me. You may notice that Papa Smurf has given up. He's just lying down there in the background. Under my pagan altar with all my gods there. Yeah. Sometimes I get these letters from people, and they always come from the USA. And people are telling me that I will end up in hell and I need to embrace Jesus and all of that. It's so nice. Basically, people sending me a letter telling me to go to hell. You're going to hell. That's been a thing for several years now, actually. um, but I know that this is not the majority of Americans. The majority of Americans are not like that. Okay, let's see if we can. What happened here? Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm back. Yes, I'm back doing live streams, but I've been quite busy with my work, writing books, and also making videos on my other channels. So, yeah, but let's talk about this because if you have been following the news, you know, concerning international politics and so on, and also national politics within the USA, it's very obvious that the current administration in the USA is they have it became very clear very early on that they want you to hate us Europeans. And when a government points at a group of people, basically saying that they are not as good as us, they are lesser than us, they are weaker, they are decadent, they are sinful, they are weak. When a government does that, there should be a warning bell going uh, off. There should be that's the red light that should come on then, because historically speaking, when a government does that, they are doing that to hide something, to divert your attention towards that group so that you won't be as observant when it comes to what that government is doing in your country and with your own people, you know? So first of all, let me just say hello to the good people here. KP Heathen, good to see you as always. Laura is here. David, awesome, Austin, Tara. Lots of people are joining, which is wonderful. Welcome, all of you. So, the rhetoric is that Europe, and I will say that it's mostly, it's the vice president. What's his name? The guy with the eyeliner, J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance. His job is to make Americans hate Europeans. So it always frustrates us when they talk about Europe because they talk about Europe as if it is one country. And I'm sure you all understand that there's a massive difference between, for instance, a Norwegian like myself and an Italian, or Dutch and a Russian. And yes, Russia is part of Europe as well. Um, so it's like we kind of shake our heads here because it's idiotic. And there's a reason why you, when we hear these things, it's like, for instance, the thing with immigration. Oh, they're flooding across your borders, and I'm Norwegian, and that's not true. We have, you know, it's just not true. If you say, well, if you talk about Sweden, yeah, it's more of a problem there, but Norway and Sweden is not the same country. If you go to Poland, I believe they have had very little immigration, and they have very little of the problems that come with immigration from certain parts of the world, right? If you go to France, the cities there, Marseille, for instance, it's unrecognizable. When I was in Paris, and that's many years ago now, it was not a nice place to be because of the filth. Not talking about people, but rubbish in the streets and all of that, and it was horrible. But if you go to, let's say, if you go to Bergen in Norway, it's very nice. So this is the thing. Europe is not a country, and yes, I do think that immigration from certain parts of the world is a problem in Europe, as immigration across the border to Mexico is a problem in the USA, as I understand it. Um, and also, I do agree that if nothing is done, if this is allowed to continue, yes, Europe will be unrecognizable within a few decades. Not in 10 years, as these American politicians are claiming, not in 10 years, but in 50 years, yeah, it will be unrecognizable. But the other thing that they are saying is that we are weak. Um, and that's it is I think that we don't know, if are we supposed to laugh or are we supposed to be angry. It's very I don't know what to say. If you look at the health, the fitness level, it's much higher in most European countries than it is in the USA. The obesity rate, for instance, in the USA is much worse than in, let's say, Scandinavia. So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a thing they want you to believe, and also that we are kind of decadent. We're all. It's like some I've seen some Americans, they think that it's gay to be European. Just being European is kind of gay. If you're European, you're sort of a little bit gay. Where does that come from? I mean, there is no sense and reason behind that statement at all. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I do suspect that we will get some. Yeah, it's a thing actually. So I do suspect that we will get some trolls here, and we will deal with those. So Americans have lost their minds. Yeah, I do get quite a lot of messages, people from America saying, I'm really sorry about how my country is treating your country now. But it's not your fault. Of course, it's not your fault. Wolfman says male mannerisms in Europe look similar to gay mannerisms in America. Yeah, here we have that again. Male mannerisms in Scandinavia. Okay, I can tell you one thing. Don't take this personally, but Scandinavians, and I would say also Germans, Northern Europeans, but especially Scandinavians, we feel that American men act like children. That's because of they express their emotions far too much. We are quite stoic here, and it's like it's this joke like our genetics froze because of the ice, so we can't dance, we can't express our emotions. We are just stoic, and we don't tell our girlfriend. You don't tell your girlfriend that you love her and so on. Like, yeah, I know we are horrible people, horrible men here, but it's like European mannerisms are like American gay mannerisms. Have you been to Scandinavia? Um, so yeah, it's easy to generalize. When I look at the TV now, I try to avoid movies from made in the USA, because it's generally just shit. But when I see on social media and so on, Americans, they're very expressive and they are very emotional when they talk, and they, especially the men, they act childish to me. But it's a cultural thing because we are not supposed to express emotions. It's trained out to us when we are kids, more so in my generation, I would say. But you still see that in young guys now, that they have this stoicism about them, which is good in a way, but it's also not good. So, um, you know, so it's interesting to see. It's a yeah. I was going to get to that, and I think that um, artist meet film there says many Midwest are Scandinavians. Yeah, so the typical Midwest um, rugged American male seems to be more like us. And also the Russians are like that. Let's see here. Wolf's friend, I do see your comments. I do see your comments. Uh, let's see here. Yeah. But it's like let's put it this way, right? I say that a lot here, but when Trump, let's when Trump decided to attack, well, when Israel, which runs the USA, decided to attack Iran, and then Trump had to follow up on that, they expected Europe collectively to support that. After a full year of bullying Europe, making fun of Europeans, and telling Europeans that you're weak, it's like the big bully in the schoolyard, um, knocking kids over and so on, stealing their lunch and so on. And then the bully gets in trouble with another bigger bully. Well, another bully at least. And then the bully turns to the people he's been bullying and he says, "Come and help me, please." And the other kids say, no, we will not, because you're a bully. That's kind of what was going on there. and and I will say there's quite a bit of hubris going on there. Um, yeah. Okay, let's return to the topic here. So my take on this is that this very faulty and fake angle that your politicians in the USA are using, namely that Europeans are weak and decadent and less manly than Americans. First of all, you can only believe that if you have not traveled around in Europe a bit, because it is obviously not true. But also, it is used to make you feel better in the USA when they are running the country into a ditch economically and in other ways as well. While they are while they are busy taking away your rights, and they are, you know, they want you to look at Europe and think for yourself like, oh, at least we're not like them, the Europeans. They're all gay. How, why is that used as a negative thing? I'm not gay, but I mean, if you are, what's wrong about that? I don't care, you know. But anyway, they want you to think that, well, at least we're not like them because they're being overrun by Muslim gangs everywhere in Europe, in every city, every town. They don't have any guns. In Norway, they have one gun, and it's in a museum. They handed over their guns, and now they don't have any rights. That's the angle I see a lot. And they're all pagans, and no, not pagans. I'm a pagan. They're all Satanists, and they're all having sex like in big gatherings in a field every Saturday or something like that, And it's like, it's this image that has no substance, no connection to reality at all. And they really need you to think about Europe as, first of all, like one country, and then also that Europeans are weak. And I think that they try to portray the European man as a little guy who goes to a cafe drinking coffee. Nothing wrong about that, but and he's very leftist, and he's very maybe a little bit flamboyant in the way he dresses, and so on and so on. And he's never held a gun, and and it's like, come on, it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous. It's like when I was at the Bushcraft show a couple of years ago in England, there was a guy there walking around. He had no legs. Well, he had metal legs. And he was walking around there representing war veterans. He was extremely athletic, extremely fit. What an impressive figure he was. And for someone like that, how must it feel to listen to the rhetoric coming from those soft-handed politicians in the USA now? How must it feel? He was in a war, maybe Afghanistan, something like that. He had his legs blown off, and he trained himself to walk on the metal legs, the prosthetics, and he was there representing the veterans. That's a tough man, you know. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. You're not like that. Well, we don't know because luckily we have not been in that situation. Um, so it's like so ridiculous to see, Trump and JD Vance and what's his Hegseth and these people, you know, have they ever done any hard physical real work in their lives? Have they been in real physical conflict? Have they ever, you know, it's a bit irritating when you have been talking to people who have been to actual wars, and then you hear these people, these politicians, soft-handed politicians from the USA, talking about Europeans, saying that we are weak. I hope that the Americans listening to this can understand that it doesn't feel good, and it's not right. In the town where I'm living, people were killed in Afghanistan. They didn't come back. Well, they came back in a coffin, you know? So, yeah, and the gun thing, Norway is littered with guns. Norway is littered with guns. We have, I was about to say, we have a hunting culture. Well, we have a hunting culture, but it's not a good culture, but that's a topic for another live stream, I guess. Um, you know, I think I can say now that I've shot a gun at a party. I shouldn't have done that. Um, and yeah, a Magnum, like Dirty Harry style. Yeah. And it's like because a friend of mine had one, and it came out of the cabinet, the gun cabinet, during that party. It shouldn't have, but it did. It was a long time ago now. I didn't shoot anyone, but I did fire the gun. Um, and it's like there are so many guns in Norway, more in the USA, but to say that we don't have a gun culture here is also ridiculous. Um, uh, let's see here. Guns at parties are a supremely bad idea. I agree. I agree. Oh yeah, in Switzerland, I think Switzerland, that's the country in Europe with the most guns, registered guns. But in Norway, there's a lot of unregistered uh, guns. Um, um, let's see. Yeah, another thing about Europe is that Europe is experiencing a movement towards the right politically, especially among young people, and it's not so strange, it's not so strange. It's a pendulum effect with the woke thing, and all of that, and also it has to do with immigration, yeah, and all of that. In Norway, you can't even own a self-defense pistol. That's ridiculous. Well, you can. You can, but you have to be a part of a club, like a shooting club. You know. So yeah, there was like this guy who yeah, Norwegian comedian a few years ago. Maybe he was drunk or something, and he had like this machine gun, and I think he thought he was being burglared, and he started shooting in his apartment. That was also a very bad idea. Is there woke right over there? We hate flood. Well, there woke really didn't really catch on here in Norway, but as in many countries, our politicians have embraced that ideology to a large extent, but it doesn't really have support among the people. But anyway, again, I want to say that I want to just make it very clear again that I hope, or let me just ask, are you aware that when I say that your politicians in the USA are using Europe as a scapegoat almost? They want you to believe that Europeans are weak and all of that. They want you to believe that. But you must really understand it's not true. But the reason they want you to believe that is that they want you to look that way. They want you to look towards Europe and think of yourselves as superior. Whatever your government is doing, it's just to protect your rights, America first, and all of that. You know, that makes your politicians, that gives your politicians, what's the word, leeway or space or a working space or whatever you call it, to do the things that they are doing right now. And what they are doing right now is taking away your rights and implementing massive surveillance through these big tech, big AI companies. That's what they are doing. And yes, they are doing that in Europe as well. Poisoning your water, the AI data centers are poisoning your water, making your raising the price of electricity, and just implementing a grid, strengthening the grid and just moving you towards Agenda 2030. And if you believe that the current administration in the USA with Trump is not going along with Agenda 2030, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. And I don't think that the current administration in the USA are the ones running the USA at all. Same in Europe. We're all being moved towards Agenda 2030. And that's the key takeaway from this live stream. And this is something I'm sure that you have been thinking about for some time now. Look at what people are doing, not what they're saying. That's good advice, both in a relationship and also when it comes to our politicians. What are they actually doing? What they're saying is worth nothing, but what are they doing? Yeah, online, age verification. It's all about controlling what information you access, what information is hidden from you, and what you can see, what you can do, and also to be able to punish you for wrong think in the future. That's not a conspiracy theory, by the way. Club of Rome, exactly. Look into that. So, and I do believe that the way out of this is through national sovereignty. Yes, we shall collaborate between nations, but that's different from what we have now, where big entities that are undemocratic are running your country. Um, and it's like in the USA, it might feel good if you don't believe that human activity. This is just one example, okay? If you don't believe that human activity is affecting the climate at all, it must feel good what Trump is doing, the Trump administration, drill baby drill and all of that. But it doesn't matter because there will be another administration in 3 years' time, and they will just, it will probably be democratic, um, and they will just go back to uh, following along with the narrative from the so-called scientists in the United Nations and so on. I do believe that human activity is affecting the climate, by the way, to some extent. Um, you know, yeah. California made it mandatory for all OS to verify your age. It's never a better time to switch to Linux. Yes. I went for 5 years or so, something like that, without a smartphone, and then I got some health issues. I'm getting, I'm getting better, by the way, or my health is improving in that regard. But because of that, I had to get a smartphone again. So, do I imagine that I will be having a smartphone in the future? Um, no, no. Or I might have one if it's necessary to access certain, like the bank and so on. But because of the age verification, that will probably come to all platforms and all operating systems in all countries. Maybe not all countries. That's why you should have a VPN, by the way, so that you can set the VPN to a country where there is no age verification. But the time of the age of the smartphone is coming to an end. Most people will just go along with it because they are addicted to the smartphone. They're hopelessly addicted to it. For me, I think I went so long without the smartphone that I'm not addicted now. I can put it away for a few days, no problems at all. But yeah, if you want to have privacy, you can't have a smartphone in the future. So you have to choose. You have to choose. The lack of focus on hustle culture in some European countries. Okay, in some European countries. Which countries are those? Hustle culture. Oh, yeah. No, we don't really. No, we don't have. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Did you like the button phone? I didn't have a button phone. I had, what do you call it? Oh yeah, I did have a button phone. If I liked it, it's just a phone. It's not. But I have the new light phone now. It works very well. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Americans have a lot to learn from European work culture. Absolutely. Also, we're never back to time before smartphones. Yeah, of course you can. You can just throw it away. Most people, they think they have to have one, but you don't. You don't. Some things are more difficult, but you will manage. If you take a smartphone now and you throw it in the fire, you will be perfectly fine. I don't recommend that because you should probably get another phone to replace that phone. um, would be epic if you got NordVPN as a sponsor. I do have NordVPN as a sponsor actually on my main channel, and there is a link that I put in the video description here if you're interested in that. You can go and get a VPN there. Yeah, just a few words about that. YouTube is not what it used to be. YouTube has changed, and I did not really change with it. But now I am making shorts. Yes, I do. I'm even on TikTok because that's what people are watching. At least when it comes to my content, I have to do that. And YouTube is not paying like they used to. It's just ridiculous how little they are paying now. So if I want to continue to make videos at the rate that I'm doing it, I need to have a sponsor or several sponsors. It's just how it is. This is just live streaming here. It doesn't really cost me anything to do these live streams. But when I go out making my Viking videos on the main channel, I can't do that for free. Yeah. Americans work far too much. Is it like you have 2 weeks of vacation? That's crazy. Your life should not be about working. Your life should be about spending time with the people you love, spending time in nature, spending time enjoying your hobbies, traveling, and so on. Wolf's friend is asking, why is it that almost every European, including Bjorn, talk shit about all Americans? Is that your takeaway from this live stream? I'm not. But you have some massive problems in the USA. And I think that it's only fair after a full year of propaganda being spewed out by your current administration about how weak Europeans are. It's only fair that I call out the things that need to change in the USA for the USA to become a healthy country again. Yeah. The USA. Yeah, BB. Yes. Yeah. It's interesting how much power Israel has over the USA. It's interesting. There's a theory that they have incriminating evidence about Trump, that Israel has that, and that they are essentially blackmailing him to do this and that. Yeah. Wolfman says, must be some bad tapes. This is insanity. Yeah. you know, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of don't want to know. I don't want to see what evidence they have. Um, oh yeah, you have pharmacy ads. That's not legal here. You know, pharmacy ads in the USA. Um, yeah, I must say that the things that the main reason I don't watch, I try, I generally do not want to watch American movies, and I think it's because, first of all, uh, using narcotics has been normalized in those movies to such an extent that if it's not like a set to a in a historical setting, it within the first half hour, of course, they're using drugs, and it's portrayed as a normal thing, and it's just disgusting, you know. It's just disgusting. I understand it's not representative of Americans, but it's the programming that they are trying to do, and quite successful at that, you know. And it's beyond me that people don't understand what's going on. This is not what's this about? Why are they doing that? Why are the celebrities pushing narcotics? Why are they doing that? Why? I'll give you one guess. One guess. Why are they pushing for the liberalization and normalization of so-called recreational drugs? And while you think about that, you know, why they are doing that, I will just say that if there is if there is one thing that makes a nation weak, it's that. It's that, you know. Why are they doing that? The reason is, the answer is, as always, money. Money. These, you know, if you look at how Pfizer is investing in, you know, and I'm not sure other of the many other of these big pharma companies, they're investing in. I don't want to say the name, but you know, they're investing in recreation, in the normalization of and the pushing out of recreational drugs and selling that to the population, making it legal. Why? Because the perfect product is a product that is addictive. Of course it is. Of course. They will even claim it's good for you. Of course they are. It's all about money. Imagine if they can make it normalized in a whole population, you know, and it's highly addictive. It's a perfect business plan. That's why. That's why. So, you know, no big mystery there. It's all about money. They are they want you addicted, and also they want you addicted on a you know, a number of pills and potions to make you thinner, to make you not feel sad, to make you happy, to make you have bigger muscles, to, you know, and all of that. It's, if again, you know, it's sick. And I saw a YouTube video the other day, and about just some health, you know, walking, the benefits of walking, I think it was, and eating real food. And this guy was saying, I'm 54 years old and I don't use any medications. And I'm like, so yeah. And then I thought, oh, he's American. Yeah. And in America, if you're in the 50s, you're usually on some medication. Um, I'm not. I'm 53. I wouldn't brag about that. Imagine if I was like at a party here in Norway and I said, I'm 53 years old and I don't use any medications. People around me would say, yeah, so what? Because that's not normal here. That's not normal. Uh, so, but of course, it's different in the USA. It's different in the USA. Yeah, let's see here. They're pushing looks maxing. Looks maxing. Looks maxing. Yeah, that's interesting. It's silly, of course. I think it's borderline very feminine to be that concerned about your looks if you're a man. That's just my opinion. But looks maxing, women have been doing that since forever. So yeah, I don't get why they are ridiculing the men doing that when they are women who spend half an hour. I don't know how long do women spend in front of the mirror every day. I'm saying half an hour. I have no idea. But you get my point. A woman who's just spent half an hour in front of the mirror putting makeup on should not ridicule men doing looks maxing. That's just my opinion. So the looks maxer in question has been abusing his body. That's the issue. I don't know. I don't know. Clavicular character. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. I'm not really up to date on that. Let's see here. Our business says I lift weights and eat organic grass-fed beef every day. Good for you. That's what we should. Well, I am also, but everyone should. Yeah. Looks maxing. They're trying to look facially attractive. I don't think that women care so much about that, actually. Women care about other things, like if you can behave like a decent human being. That's where you should start. That's where you should start. Try not to. Uncle Bjorn's dating advice number one: try not to be an idiot. Yeah. But okay, I will finish with that for now. So yeah, if you by some miracle discovered this channel and are still listening, and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I always lose quite a few subscribers when I talk in a critical way about the USA, because Americans are very sensitive about that in general. So, okay. Enough of all this. I will go now and have my breakfast. So, okay. Bye-bye. Oh, now I can't. They changed things here. How do I stop end stream? It's up here now. Okay. YouTube is always changing things around. End stream. Okay. Bye-bye.